Just letting you in? Yeah, okay. 494.
We're on YouTube, Jerry.
228. Did he just look?
Good morning and aloha, everyone. The hybrid meeting of the Cultural Resources Commission will now come to order. Quorum has been established with 5 members in attendance. Today is Wednesday, November 9, 2022, and it is 10:07 a.m. Pursuant to Act 220, Session Laws of Hawaii 2021, which amended the Sunshine Law to allow meetings to be remotely conducted online effective January 1, 2022. The Cultural Resources Commission meetings will host a hybrid of online and in-person participants. A location has been identified on the agenda for the public to provide testimony on agenda items and to view the meeting. This meeting can also be viewed live online. A link to the YouTube live stream is provided on the county website. The video recording will remain on the YouTube channel for those who are not able to watch it live. All reports and surveys reviewed during this hearing are available on the county website. Commissioners, please be reminded that only one person may speak at a time. Raise your hand to be recognized if you have a question or a comment. At this time, I'd like to introduce members of the commission. Please let us know whether or not anyone in the room is with you. I'm Jerry Geraldine Bell, Chair of the Commission. Vice Chair Natalie Kurashima is excused. Matthew Clark.
Hi, Chair, present. No one else is with me here.
Kilohana Hirano.
Good morning, Chair. Just myself in the office today.
Thank you. Ku'ule Keakealani.
Aloha pumehana ya kako a ohe kanaka me ia'u. I have no peoples with me.
Kealoha Kini, is he on yet? Not yet. Nicole. Scott Mahoney. I know Scott. He's there. Anyone with you in the room?
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, hello everybody. Scott
Hi.
Mahoney. No one's here with me.
All right, good morning. And Aaron Spillman is excused. I'd like to also introduce the CRC staff at this time. There's Kevin Sullivan, planner. Hi, Kevin. April Sorpinot, planning manager. And our ever faithful Kim Tanaka, she's hiding somewhere probably. And Susanna Tiapua, representing the Corp Council.
Aloha.
This morning. And in the absence of the vice chair, I'd like to appoint Kilohana Hirano as interim vice chair for this meeting. Pursuant to HRS 923, interested persons that want to provide oral testimony may do so either at the time the board takes public statements on the agenda or at the time the specific agenda item is called. Members of the public may be joining in person at the identified public location or online via Zoom. Staff, please indicate if there are any members of the public wishing to provide testimony online or in person.
I don't think we have anybody at this time, Chair.
Sorry.
Oh.
You did receive. I did send a written testimony to the commission this morning from Jojo Tanimoto. You'll see that in your email. Jojo signed up to today via Zoom, but she has not logged in.
Okay. To get out of the screen to get to my email. Is it possible that you can read what she sent to the commission, Kim?
Sure. So actually, Jojo sent in testimony regarding the Hawaiʻi Cemetery, which is something that is not on the agenda. So, sorry. And also she sent in testimony regarding agenda item number 2, the discussion of the CLG project funds. She says that number 1, our community is requesting to be included in the project funding list to install signage, no parking or cemetery. Our kupuna asks that this location be recognized because it contains historic burial remains, and constant trespassing has allowed bike riders mostly to use as bathroom behind the boulders. Tourists stop to view the ocean and walk all over the burials. The kupuna didn't know who is in the plot, only that remains were next to the highway. This activity needs to stop immediately. 2, Army Corps of Engineers confirmed that burial remains are located in this location during their survey for unexploded ordnance in 2019. Further, we have trouble getting responses from the landowner, Queen Emma Foundation, Island Rep, Oahu Board, and Foundation. We tried Hawaii Tourism Authority and a host of other organizations, but no follow-up. We hope you can assist to get the responses you might need. She also had testimony regarding agenda item number 3, the update of planning subcommittee. Number 1, our community seeks your help to be included with the list of projects for your action plan. Number 2, according to the South Kohala Community Development Plan, page 32, there are 9 historic sites. Actually, there are at least 20 more historic sites not listed. We hope this commission will work towards including these areas. On page 121 of the South Kohala Community Development Plan, Chapter 6, Strategy 1.6, establish a Cultural Resource Commission to work with the community to identify burial grounds. 4, second paragraph, preserve cultural sites, including proper signage to identify these resources. 5, the purpose of the South Kohala Community Development Plan is to be the forum for the community input, according to the Hawaii County General Plan. Our community needs your assistance for this project ASAP. Agenda item number 4, update the investigative subcommittee, investigate preservation plans, management, and other priorities. She has 5 bullets. Number 1, our community understands from the Hawaii Island Burial Council that since this may be private property and much research is needed, but I can recall when the subject was brought up by Kupuna Bill Alkau and Auntie Ulu Garman during the conflict of the Davis Crypt in 1980s. This project is long overdue, and confirmation of the location provides the motivation to see this project completed. Number 2, during the South Kohala Traffic Safety Council meeting, the Waimea police captain said if state highway signage were displayed, they can move or remove vehicles and people. 3, we have requested Hawaii Island Burial Council to provide and have installed this signage on Kauai shoulders. Still waiting for a response. Then the State Highways Division can maintain the sign. Number 4, currently anybody parking and walking around is trespassing on private property. Nothing else is being done all these years. And number 5, also our request to the State Highways Division in Hilo is to return the boulders to the survey stake alignment. This will provide some buffer to the cemetery location until a permanent solution can be reached. Should we require a donation for the sign, can you help find out the cost of the sign and the requirements to have it installed? We have asked Hawaii Island Burial Council, but no response. And that's the end of her letter.
Thank you, Kim. I'm going to ask the planning, Kevin, to take a look at the letter and see if there's any items that come under the purview of the Cultural Resources Commission, then bring it back to the council at some future date. Thanks, Kim.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Kevin. So I'd like to go to the business of the commission. Do you know, Kim, if Sean is online with us?
No, he has not logged into Zoom.
Okay, so I'm going to take the agenda items out of order and I'm going to go to Kevin. And that item was the review and discussion of the proposed certified local government project opportunities for the current LG funding cycle. And the application deadline is November 31 at the end of this month. And Kevin, if you'd like to introduce this agenda item to the commissioners, please.
Yes, Chair, I will. Let me share my screen. So you guys are aware we, as a certified local government, have access annually to revolving funds from SHPO under the Certified Local Government Grant Program and the Historic Preservation Grant Fund. We are in a current or approaching a deadline to apply for this year's grant. November 30th is the deadline, and I wanted to take this opportunity to go over some previous projects and discuss any consent or ideas for this grant cycle and getting an application submitted to SHPD by November 30th. These are generally the eligible projects are sort of under these categories here. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight one past project that I know was submitted but did not get funding, and a few others that were on a list that the County Planning Department had, and another current idea, and we can even talk if we want about JoJo's idea she submitted a little bit. But we won't, unfortunately, have another CRC meeting before the deadline, so here to solicit y'all's advice. The first project idea generally was sort of a living inventory project, and I think this was from past discussions in like 2016, 2017. This one, at least, this idea of a living inventory project was refined a little bit, it looks like, into this grant proposal, which unfortunately wasn't funded at the time. And it was for a sort of walking tour of Kona, some of the historic areas there. Another idea was Kuala Archaeological District. Out in Puna on some county-owned parcels and doing probably an AIS for that. Another project idea was a public relations radio spot or a set of radio spots that would highlight our mission and just, you know, sort of a community information project. And then a current idea is to carry forward Volcano Village Design District. There's been some work post Puna Community Development Plan adoption on the village design guidelines, and the Volcano Community Association came up with a long-range plan and some initial design district guidance that the overall goal was always to codify it, so we could work on that as well and probably get some inventory information updated. That's all the ideas I have currently, and then JoJo's idea I could look at, but you know, there's so many projects that we could apply for. I think the point is that we, or at least my position is that we attempt to apply every year, either for a different project or for the same project, and keep, you know, refining it until we get approved. And this may be something we can talk more between now and the next grant cycle if we're not comfortable submitting one this cycle. The amount is about $64,000. There's a 40% county match that can be met largely with in-kind funds. So really, it's just about, I think, for this agenda item, any direction you guys have for which one of these or others you may want to see submitted. I will say from a staff perspective, the Volcano Village Design District, this one may be furthest along as far as sort of ready to submit. The other would be the one that was previously submitted, but not funded. So I'm just speaking from a feasibility and staff time and effort perspective on that. But with that, I'd like to turn it over and hear y'all's thoughts.
Kevin, can you go over again the one or ones that were previously submitted?
Yes, that's this one,
Okay.
the 2016 grant proposal for self-guided tour in West Hawaii. The other interesting sort of point for this one would be serendipitously that we have a open space project in Kona that's going to be underway. And there may be some synthesis or some alignment with this project and that that may raise this one in priority as far as resubmitting for this grant cycle.
Okay.
Kevin, was that one not granted, or we did get
That's
money and it
correct.
got started?
I don't believe this one was granted.
Okay.
Kevin, do you know why they weren't granted or funded?
I don't know specifics right now for that, and I don't know if I haven't found anything in the notes. Not saying they're not there. I just don't know right now. I haven't dug deep enough to see if our CRC planner at the time, Lucas Mead, followed up with them to inquire about that. And that would be something that I would definitely do or try to do with SHPD if this is the intent.
The background work has already been done for this project, right? It would just be a matter of resubmitting?
Largely, I believe so, yes. I don't believe the grant proposal, itself has changed as far as what they want to see, project description, goals, outcomes, things like that. It should be plug and play for the most part. But I would want to look at it and see what info may need to be updated.
Right.
Some language would change slightly, things like that, but it seems current enough to be sort of safe to submit.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
And sorry, Kevin, if these funds were granted, who administers them and who would oversee the project?
So what happens is if we submit the proposal to SHPD, and if they award it, then we would enter into an agreement with SHPD, and then the county would undertake procurement to contract out the scope of work to whatever degree that needs to happen, depending on how the grant and the budget is formed up regarding county in-kind versus what the contracted estimates would be. So we'd go under contract more than likely with an appropriate firm from our professional services list.
Any other comments from the commissioners?
Sorry, so of the previous ones that you have in the slides, so the Volcano Village one you said is potential because there has been some work done, this self-guided tour in Kona, and then the Pu'ala'a one would be off the table, right, because that doesn't exist anymore. That area doesn't exist anymore, correct?
I'm sorry, say that again about this one.
I I believe this was one of the areas affected by the 2018 flow, so it may not even be something anymore.
Okay, that's definitely a salient point. Thank you so much. Right, sort of like when people ask me about subsidence, and I let them know, unfortunately, that Kapoho. Yeah, so there you go. That one may be off this list. Yes. So yeah, that being said, I think it would be between Volcano Village Design District and the self-guided, or the West Hawaii work that we'd like, that I think staff would work to align somewhat with the Kona Open Space Network project as well,
Would you
or
be,
any other. Sorry,
Sorry.
go ahead.
are you able to provide the grant proposals that we could look at?
Yes, I can certainly forward the past one. I can forward, and then prior to submittal on the 30th, I can try to get it out to you guys as well.
I'm just curious what the specifics are, but yeah, thank you.
No, I can do that today. I can find and forward. Kim can help me forward the previous submittal.
I'm not sure how much information is in the submittal, in the budget, if there's personnel costs, but at least the narrative could be publicly posted as well.
Okay. There is a budget sheet in there. I could actually pull up the application if you guys wanted to see what that looks like.
Sure, that would be great, Kevin.
Okay.
So just for process, as Kevin is pulling that up, we're looking to, by the end of our meeting, come to a potential, if that's what we want, a decision of which ones we would like to submit. Is that our potential end goal for this?
I believe so, Kilohana, because we're pushing for time here. We've
Right.
got like 2.5 weeks. I'm that proposal and the other one, the work has been basically done. So I think it'd be good if we could resubmit it for this year and then work on others for next year.
So I would want to, for example, if you guys give the go ahead, I would research feasibility further.
Hey, Kevin, you're not sharing screen right now.
Oh, I'm not.
Maybe stop and then wait.
Yeah. Sorry, folks. Let me reshare. Thank you. So as an example of that feasibility, I'd want to contact Kulamaʻia Kona Heritage Preservation Council, again, to make sure they're still willing to partner. Here's the
Can you zoom in? There you go.
here's project description. So within the rain belt along Mamalahoa, between South Kohala and North Kona, to the boundary between South Kona and Ka'u. So I'd update the project timeline and such as well.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
And here was estimates for the budget at that time. These would need to be updated as well.
So that total budget cost was 16 back then.
Yeah. Do you guys have any questions about this one? The
I have a
the
question.
Kona open space. Yes, sir.
Yeah, this, has there been any contact with Pulamaya Kona Heritage? Because this whole application I'm looking at is, you know, is almost like 6 years ago. Is there?
That's right.
Are they interested in pursuing this thing?
I would have, that would be part of my follow-up, is to confirm that support. That's exactly right.
And the project budget is made, I mean, is put together by that nonprofit? The
My
salaries,
best,
I'm looking at salaries, contract services, all of this stuff. Yeah.
my best guess is that this would have been put together a few years ago in collaboration with them, possibly, but there's also sort of, for volunteer time, there's sometimes a set rate for grants, and I'm not seeing that one necessarily reflected here. The Pulama Volunteers Professional, I would assume at 30 an hour. I would assume that was sort of coordinated with them at the time that this was drafted. But yeah, if this one works, I would need to complete some additional due diligence in order to finalize the application or finalize a draft for you guys to look at.
Okay, thank you.
And the total on this is a little, well, again, you know, they're old numbers, so they would need to be updated.
One idea is that you all could vote on a priority if you choose sort of one. If this were to be lean towards the top priority, if for some reason that additional contact did not work out
Right.
with Palama, then you could also vote for the second in line if you still want to go for funds this year. That way we have the direction from the commission and can proceed whichever way with the top priority and then the second priority. And then we can share that, Kevin can share the whole application with you all, but in the essence of time, maybe chair and vice chair could sort of do the final review and provide any final comments. And that could be part of a motion.
And Kevin, I'm curious, you mentioned the staff was interested in the Volcano Village one. Can you tell us a little bit about that one? I know you haven't put the grant together yet, but.
I actually sort of have put some of it into the grant application template, but what it would do or what it would involve is looking at the nomination forms in Volcano and seeing what, if any of them, needed to be updated. And that would be, you know, we'd be doing that to sort of confirm the intended boundaries of that design district. And then it would be taking the work that the Volcano Community Association did regarding their long-range plan and their draft design guidelines and working to codify them. I can also share that.
And I assume for that one, you're currently working with that community and they're active in this at this time?
I also need to, it's the same thing, I need to confirm their involvement. However, they've done this work and we do have we are working on a code audit. Let me see if I can share this one. So here is their proposal, also a bit antiquated, but probably, again, a lot of our implementation priorities will be a few years old.
Mhm.
But this is the work that that community association completed. And where is it? So the goal is to secure formal status by county ordinance. And it's the rationale. And where is, oh, my document went blank. It looks like it did not load all the way. That's unfortunate. They also have a long range plan developed, which helps. This one won't load either. But as you can imagine, it gets into, oh wow, the whole thing went blank. It gets into some architectural standards and building materials appropriate for volcano, some use, things with zoning and similar to our other village plans, and would be working towards that. So it would be, adopting a boundary, maybe looking at whether or not there needs to be a design commission, or if the standards can be reviewed ministerially, and then what those specific standards are for that district.
Thank you.
The commission, would you like to, I'd like to send projects on to the SHIP for CLG funds. Would someone like to put into a motion to prioritize those two projects? It's those two projects, right, Kevin?
Right now, yes.
Yeah.
Without having sufficient time to digest JoJo's into the any larger list, yeah, I would say at this point it's between those two.
Okay.
And that also feasibility wise,
Right.
with the deadline, what it is.
So if we
Now,
could, go ahead.
I was just going to say the other sort of context for this, of course, for us as a commission, one of the things I'd like to do is continue to build this list and the possible scopes, and so that we have sort of a menu to pull from moving forward. So I'm always open to anytime receiving additional ideas that require more due diligence from ideas from y'all, so that we can continue to build that sort of inventory too, right? Our grant proposal inventory.
Right. Okay.
That's all.
Okay. Thanks, Kevin. Okay, so would someone like to put into a motion priorities for the Cultural Resource Commission as far as the CLG funding?
Is it appropriate as the interim vice chair for me to make the motion?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Just want to make sure that I know. Robert's rules is not my strong point. Yeah, so Commissioner Hirano makes a motion to have the commission staff prepare submission documents for the Volcano Village Design District and West Hawaii Self-Guided Tour proposals for GLC funds pending due diligence with community partners.
Okay, so would you like, Kevin, before, I'm sorry, Kilohana, before I ask for a second, would you like to put that in priority? Or was that it? You had mentioned the volcano village first and then the.
Oh, yeah.
West Hawaii.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's with priority on this. I don't know if there's a preference from the staff of which one would be the priority.
I don't know what the, we weren't able to see the information of the volcano proposal, but it seems to me the self-guided West Hawaii tour is ready to go, except for updating cost estimates and of course confirming Pulama's support, but just updating the cost estimates and timelines and getting the support from Pulama, and that project would be sort of ready to go as a number one priority. And then if that doesn't happen, then look at the volcano village.
From my point of view right now, they both require sort of an equal amount of work, or another way is that they are both sort of equally ready to go. They both still require confirming partnership involvement. Right. They both require sort of looking at the numbers and the timeline, but as far as a base of work to pull from, the only difference is that I'd be pulling scope of work from a past application for the West Hawaii walking tour, and I'd be pulling information from past community work for the volcano village. But on balance, if I'm being honest, I think that's one of the reasons I'm here, because I don't know which one to, right? So.
Okay, so we'll leave it as that. Kilohana, you want to repeat your motion and then I'll get a second.
Motion to have the commission staff prepare submission documents for, I'll switch the order this time, the West Hawaii self-guided tour and the Volcano Village Design District proposals for GLC funds pending due diligence with community partners.
All right, may I have a second to that motion, please?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Scott. So the motion is on the floor. It's been introduced and seconded. Is there any discussion? If no discussion by the commissioners, I'm going to call for a roll call vote, please. Matt Clark.
Aye.
Kilohana.
Aye.
Pule.
Aye.
And Scott.
Aye.
And myself, I vote aye. So the motion is carried. Thank you. And thank you, Kevin. You have some work ahead of you for the next few weeks.
Thank you.
No off for Thanksgiving.
Can I just ask for clarification? The documents that were shown will all be posted publicly? Kevin? I'm not sure if the documents that were, I'm not sure who I'm asking, but the documents that were shown to the committee, those need to be publicly posted.
Okay, what about this is April, what about, Susanna, the previous application? Is it okay to post that publicly with numbers that are not necessarily current?
I think anything that was shown to the commissioners today needs to be publicly posted.
Okay.
And since they reviewed it, anything that they looked at on the shared screen needs to be posted. In the future, we probably would be posting that in advance if we knew. The other question is, although the motion was for the staff to prepare them, was there any guidance as to which would be submitted, or will that be decided at the next meeting? I wasn't sure about timing.
I'm not sure.
I heard that the priority was the West Hawaii.
Yeah.
And then if that one is not a go, then Volcano is the second priority. Is that, Kilohana, was that your intent?
Correct.
Your motion?
Correct, with the switching of West Hawaii first.
Okay,
And regarding the grant submission itself, it would be the county submitting it. I don't believe that there is a requirement that the CRC actually say that like, say that, like, give county staff permission to submit it. So I'm not sure if that last question, Susanna, is
That's fine. I
totally,
was just trying to understand the motion, but I agree.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so you've got your work cut out for you. I don't see, Sean on, Kim, any update on Sean?
Hey, Jerry, no, we haven't received anything from Sean. I did send him the link, the Zoom link again, and I called his work number and texted him, but I haven't heard back.
Okay, that's fine. So what we'll do, if he contacts you, we'll just move him to the January's agenda, if that'll work. And then we'll go on with the business of the commission this morning. So next on our agenda is an update from the planning subcommittee of the CRC. And I'd like to see if Kilohana has an update.
Mahalo, Chair Kilohana Hirano, the planning subcommittee chair for the CRC. We did not have a chance to meet as a subcommittee, but after today's discussion, I do believe we have a little bit more clarity on prioritizing some of the work, especially considering the GLCs and how we start to prioritize what we were looking at as the 2020 update, which will now be the 2022 update. But we are planning for a December meeting for this subcommittee.
Okay, great, Kilohana, thank you. And then we'll move to an update from Matt on the investigative subcommittee.
Aloha, Chair. As with the planning committee, we did not have a chance to meet as a subcommittee between our last CRC meetings. However, I do have one small update that the County of Hawaii has begun the implementation of the preservation plan at La'aloa. So they have begun clearing vegetation and updating that, which we had asked them to do, and that's ongoing at this time.
That's good news. We've been talking about La'aloa for a few years now.
Yes, I think they started clearing vegetation this week, so it should start looking better very soon.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Matt.
Welcome.
So I'm going to move to administrative matters, and on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of our September 21, 2022 meeting. And can I have a motion to approve those minutes, please?
Chair, this is Commissioner Clark. I make a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting held on September 21st, 2022.
A second?
Commissioner Hirano seconds.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes of the September 21, 22 meeting. And I am going to ask for a show of hands on that motion, please. Just give me a, yeah, there you go. Give me a 5. Scott? All right, okay. The unanimous, thank you much. All right. So the next meeting of the commission is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, January 11, 2023. Staff, are there any additional announcements or comments?
I have none at this time, Chair.
Right, so thank you. So this concludes the items on this agenda. And I'm going to have a motion to adjourn this meeting. Please, someone, and then a second.
Commissioner Hirano makes a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Kilohana. A second.
Second.
Thank you, Ku'ule. All those in favor say aye.
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 Loud and clear. Thank you. This meeting is now adjourned. Mahalo.
Mahalo.
Aloha no.
Aloha.